Good afternoon, well, barely afternoon, good day. Welcome to Trinity Heights United Methodist Church. I'm Kent Little, Senior Pastor. This is Midweek Musings. It's good to have you with us if you're joining us live here on our Facebook page, or even if you pick this up later and watch it as it'll be on our Facebook page recorded. Anyway, welcome. Glad you're here. So, still a lot of things going on at Trinity Heights, as I always lift up each time we meet. We had a great Easter service a week ago, last Sunday. Brunch, talked a little bit about that last week. This last Sunday was our Holy Humor Sunday. It was a lot of fun, or at least I thought it was. We had I shuffled the order of service, and so we started with the closing hymn, and you just never knew where it was going to go. You had to kind of pay attention to the bulletin for a change. Even I did, so I wouldn't forget what I'd done. Anyway, so it was a fun Sunday. We had a lot of laughs, and it was just a good fun Sunday. So anyway, if you weren't here, we missed you. But it is on our website, as we have been. We finally, I think, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I think we've figured out the bugs in our live stream, so we're able to live stream on YouTube each Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. If you can't be here in person, you can join us there, and then it stays on that channel, so you can go back and watch the service if you miss it. So anyway, I hope you're taking advantage of that if you need to do that and like to do that. So anyway, so this week's a pretty quiet week for the most part. Tonight we have choir practice. Now we don't have my Theology Matters discussion group. I think I mentioned last week we were taking a little break. Probably pick that up again in a month or two and start that up again. We'll have coffee with Kent tomorrow morning at the 1887 Cafe on the Bethel campus, 9:30 to 10:30-ish, depending on how the discussions go on. And just a reminder, there's no agenda, there's no curriculum, no program. We just get together and have our favorite morning beverage and talk about whatever comes up, the weather, what we're doing, what's going on in our lives. Anyway, just a time to get to know each other better and to build relationships. So if you can make it to that, and certainly invite. We've been having anywhere from 8 to 10. I think last week we had 11 or 12, or maybe it was the week before. Anyway, a good group. So it's been enjoyable. So if you can make it to Coffee with Kent at the 1887 Cafe on the Bethel campus, you are more than welcome to be a part of that. That's on Thursday mornings, tomorrow mornings. So if you can take part in that, we'd love to have you. Other things coming up, the Respite Care is having their annual pulled pork dinner on the 20th of June, I'm sorry, I'm getting way ahead, 20th of April, not June. And so I think there's information about that here at the church and on our website and a newsletter, so you might make note of that. And then on June the 2nd, Sunday, June the 2nd, we're having a Schools Out block party here at the church. It'll be out in the parking lot on the grass as well. We'll have hot dogs and drinks and games. I think we're planning on having maybe setting up the volleyball net, some cornhole games, beanbag games. We'll have a giant Jenga, perhaps horseshoes. Anyway, we'll have games for the kids and for us older kids as well. Just the time to get together, and as well as we'll have a live band, Blue Eyed Soul. Will be here from Wichita, providing our musical entertainment that evening. So hope you can take that in. We're hoping for a good turnout for that. We're going to invite the neighborhood and hope we have a good showing. And then the end of June, June 29th, I believe it is, we are going to, we've invited all of our families, young, old, the whole church, to go to a wind surge game down in Wichita. If you haven't signed up for that and you'd like to, if that sounds interesting to you, please call the church office, talk to Stephanie or Diane, and get your name on the list, just so we know how many. If we could reach a certain threshold, we get a break on the tickets as well. So it's important. If you plan to go, let us know ahead of time, as soon as you can. So anyway, so those are some things going on here at Trinity Heights. Always activity happening, always things going on. So that's always fun. Anyway, so always kind of give a little teaser about what's coming up this coming Sunday. So this new worship series I'm starting this coming Sunday is kind of born out of the Coffee with Kent group. We were talking about different things. Somebody was asking a question about how I do sermon prep and that kind of thing, and I can't remember now exactly what led to the conversation. Anyway, I had made a comment that after my dad had died, I was going through all of his papers and all of his sermons. I told somebody, I swear, he saved all of his sermons. Anyway, and they were all handwritten for the most part. Anyway, but I confess, I did not keep many of them. Although I ran across one that he did in 1964. It would have been while he was a student pastor. He did one on the Beatles song, "I Want to Hold Your Hand." Well, I thought, well, that's kind of cool, and so I did hang on to that one. Anyway, so as we were talking about that at Coffee with Ken, I got to thinking, well, that might be kind of a cool worship series to do. I have long believed that music is just part of who we are. And not only what might be considered sacred music in terms of religiously based or faith-based music, but what we know as secular music, pop music, music we listen to on the radio. A good friend, and I know I've mentioned this before, a good friend of mine in Wichita once told me, and I think he was quoting somebody else, but he said that any music that moves you is sacred. As I think about my own life and my own musical library that I carry in my head, as well as on my phone and my playlist, there are so many songs that can transport me, that participate with an earlier version of me, if you will, or songs that move me. I think about those kind of songs. Elton John's the song "Daniel." It can move me to tears in certain situations and circumstances if that happens to pop on the radio. There's a song by Josh Groban. I think the title of it is "My Confession." The first time I heard that, I just remember I just wept. Songs by Chicago, which is my favorite rock band. Many of those songs move me in ways other music can't. And of course, faith-based songs, hymns. The "Here I Am, Lord" is a hymn that I always struggle to sing because it's an emotional song. So anyway, I think there's something about music that, and there's evidence that in the earliest of human existence that I forget. I should have looked that up before I got online. But the oldest musical instrument found was a bone from a bird where they had drilled holes in. It's kind of a flute. Thousands and thousands of years old, and I think there's something. I've been known to say that I think there's something in our DNA that is connected to music. There's just something that obviously we created it. One wonders in the early existence of humanity. What was the first music? Was it thumping on a rock with a stick, or I just think there's something innately part of us that is musical, and music is sacred, whether it's based in our faith or our particular religion, whatever we are, whether we're Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim, etc. They all have that music that's part of who they are, or whether it's what would be, for lack of a better word, secular music, that music that's not faith-based, but still carries with it that sacredness that moves us in ways other things can't. I have a book that I bought several years ago. It's called Secular Music and Sacred Theology. It's written by a associate professor of theology at Fordham University, specializing in practical theology. And he makes that connection between the sacred and secular music. I just, in our second service especially, our second worship service here, what we call our contemporary services in the fellowship hall, Sunday, we use some of that secular music, and our music leader for that song, I told him to access that music as well as the more contemporary Christian music as well, but also secular music. Last week we did a song by James Taylor. Anyway, so that's good. So I kind of got off track there. Anyway, this new worship series is that I'm taking a secular song, a popular secular song from each decade, starting in the 60s. And so this coming Sunday is the 60s, and I've picked a song from the Beatles. Actually, I Want to Hold Your Hand. I'm not going to use my dad's sermon. I'm going to write my own. But so that's, and I'll talk about other songs of the 60s as we talk about music in that time. And then the next week will be the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, up into the 20s, 2020s. And so anyway, so that's the new worship series we're going to be doing, and we're going to talk about how music is innately part of us, and how it participates in our life, how it participates in our faith, and the power it holds for us to connect not only with God, not only with the divine, but to connect with one another and connect deeply with who we are. So this coming Sunday is I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. And like I said, we'll talk about some other music of the 60s. But anyway, I hope you'll join us. I'm kind of excited about this series. I've not done one quite like this before. And so I think, at least I think it's going to be interesting. I hope it connects with those of you who participate as well. Anyway, so those are what's going on right now in the life at Trinity Heights and in my own journey and in preparation to be together for worship and community. So I hope you can join us however you might, whether it's in person on Sunday morning or online or coffee with Kent or other activities we'll be having here at the church or other places. So anyway, thank you for being with me today. I think it's supposed to be pretty nice, maybe a little cool yet. I think in the 60s is today, but it's pretty nice outside. So hope you can get out and enjoy that. So thank you for being here at Trinity Heights United Methodist Church, where we always strive to be a light and to love one another, every single other, until there are no others, only one beloved community of all. May it be so. May it be so. It's good to see you. Goodbye for now, and God bless.